This is Professor Dr. John Warwick Montgomery, barrister at law, and we're going to discuss doing human rights in the spirit of the Enlightenment. Doing human rights in the spirit of the Enlightenment. You say, human rights again? Haven't you been talking about human rights on other occasions? The answer is, right. Who's doing this program, you or me? I happen to be interested in human rights. It happens to be my field. I do major human rights cases at the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg, and therefore this is a field of great interest to me. You also say, but this topic sounds awfully technical to me. Human rights in the spirit of the Enlightenment? Listen, aren't you planning to go into law? You're not planning to go into dentistry, are you? Therefore, you should be concerned with difficult conceptual areas. Speaking of dentistry, it reminds me of that wonderful series of television programs of several years ago, Alf, the extraterrestrial, who came in from Melmac, and he was asked on one occasion what profession he would have followed on Melmac, and he said, dentistry, because it's the easiest profession. We Melmacians have only 2 teeth. Well, you not only have more teeth than that, you presumably have more perception as to intellectual issues, and so a topic like this shouldn't give you all that much difficulty. And it will be stimulating because the Enlightenment philosophy of human rights is being promoted in the United States and in England as the answer to the justification of human rights. We want to see if this kind of an approach will work. What do we mean by an Enlightenment approach to human rights? Well, essentially we mean the approach which was taken by the Enlightenment German philosopher Immanuel Kant. This is 18th century, and Kant is regarded as a watershed in Western philosophy because prior to Kant, people endeavored to justify human rights and ultimate values by way of belief in an absolute God. And they held that you could demonstrate the existence of an absolute God who in turn will provide you with absolute rights. Kant, in the middle of the 18th century, said that this was fallacious. He claimed that there was no sufficient argument for an absolute God. He criticized the traditional proofs for God's existence. But he said there is a sufficient argument for absolute morality. You can establish an absolute morality without reference to the existence of God. Kant was a very interesting fellow because he spent all of his life within 50 miles of the little German village or town of Königsberg in East Prussia. This is now Kaliningrad. And Kant was a person of great moral rigor himself. He went to the university and taught at the university with such regularity that the burghers of Königsberg set their watches by Kant. He would arrive at a particular street corner always at exactly the same time. He was a person of absolute moral rigor. He also made the statement on one occasion that he would not tell a lie to save the world. He was a bit of an ethical prig, I suppose we would say. In any case, his justification of absolute morality is his categorical imperative. He called it the categorical imperative. What's a categorical imperative? Well, an imperative is a command, and categorical means unarguable. Kant held that there is a moral principle which is unarguable. Well, you ask, what is that? Pant. What is that? Categorical imperative. So act, said Kant, that your action can become a universal rule. So act that your action can become a universal rule. This is the principle of maximum generality, as it's sometimes been called. Said Kant, we are compelled to act in the way in which we would want other people to act toward us. Logically, rationally, we have to do this. You say, it seems to me
Sample complete. Ready to continue?